Just watching the state of the culture right now with the game and all the wild shit going on. What's up with you, Queen? What you been dealing with?
Queening, winning, living life, being very happy. Every day I wake up and I'm so blessed and proud of where I came from a fucking raggedy 2-bedroom in Southside Jamaica, Queens, heating up the house with the oven and food stamps and sugar water and syrup sandwiches and shit like that, while motherfuckers can't bring the queen down and shit like that, kid. I want to talk about you. First of all, I want to say, what is your current take on the state of hip hop? And secondly, I want to just say I'm, excited and so honored that you called. So let me just start by saying that. But what have you been, thinking about what's happening in the game right now?
I like a lot that's going on in the game, and then I don't like a lot. Like I like the music you've been putting out. I feel like a lot of the music was real strong. I like a lot of the tracks that I don't hear on the radio, like Halfback, shit like that. I feel like it's a cult of people attacking you. I do feel like it's a cult of secret people on your neck right now. I'm not even gonna lie.
Well, I've known that for a very long time, and it's but so much I can say. It's but so much I can say without sounding like a crazy psycho, especially as a black woman. They try to paint you as a crazy black lady. And,
you can't be too strong.
Right. And I realized that people of other races are very intimidated by black women who have a strong voice. They want us to be the caricature of what black women should be most of the time so that they feel comfortable with being around us. But, I mean, you only have to talk about me. What are you thinking in general? Like, what tickles your fancy lately?
I think the game is so internet driven now, which is a gift and a curse, because it's like you could just start something tomorrow and get streams on your record tomorrow. You could create a gimmick and just get quick streaming. I think that it's cool, and I think that it's a curse at the same time. I was watching some of the shit that was going on with you, like when they was attacking you because you was working with Tekashi, and I didn't really understand it because I felt like, people was working with R. Kelly right after allegations came out and tapes came out of him having sex with young women, and nobody was bashing those dudes that was working with R. Kelly. So how could you come at somebody for working with Tekashi when he's talking about the same shit that every other rapper is? You know what I mean? I felt like it was a lot of people exercising certain rules only with certain people, like flexible principles and bendable morals. And I'm not really from that. I'm from a land where you keep it solid all the time and you're consistent with your criticisms or whatever it might be. But I think the game is dope right now. I'm not gonna lie. I like the streaming is counting for sales. I like that the way that, when you dropped the Barbie Dream shit and I heard that, I thought that was some fly shit, because I remember you did that back in the days when you said a hood rap dude, I think it was on the hook.
Yep, up and coming.
I remember that, and I said, nah, that was called Nicki. She brought it back to Southside Jamaica, Queens, by bamboo earrings from fucking Coliseum.
Not the Coliseum. Word. Word.
But the game is cool, but it's a lot of fake shit going on. I feel like it's a lot of gatekeeper writers. I feel like it's like a Ku Klux Klan of writers that's controlling certain narratives.
Absolutely.
I just watch from afar.
Absolutely. I mean, there's definitely been a narrative that they're trying to create about Onika Tanya Mirage. And unfortunately for them, they're never going to be bigger than God. And I believe in God and serve God. So they never can take me out. I mean, they have band together for the last 2 years to hurt me and harm me and take me out and affect my reputation and my career and all this shit. And it just never seems to really work, because ultimately, and with this show, I'm able to now talk to my fans directly. So there's nothing you can really say or do that I can't, counter at this point. But I'm glad that someone has the balls to say it, because yes, a lot of the gatekeepers of the culture are afraid. Well, not afraid. They're getting paid to not say it. They're getting paid to not say their secret emails and text messages and group texts going around about don't support Nicki and say negative things about Nicki, etc. And I didn't even know that you wanted to touch on this, when you called. So I don't want people to think that I want to talk about this, because I don't give two shits. I'm very excited.
I've been watching. it's something that I've been watching and noticing for the longest because I'm an honest critic. Like, I can say something negative about you 5 minutes ago, but I still have something positive to say regardless. Because I'm just a critic of the culture. But I just felt like that's what the fuck was going on. I'm like, nah, this shit don't seem right.
Photos the other day from the video. I don't want to give it away. I was so excited. But I just want to say, I really love the freaking song. Shout out to everybody in the UK that's listening right now. And let me see something. But anyway, shout out to all of them. It's 4 girls, and I want you to get familiar with them. So let me see if they're around. Hello? Hi, girl! Now, you guys, let me just make sure I'm saying everybody's name right. Jade, Jessie, Perry, and Leanne?
Yes.
Yay! Okay, now first I want to start by saying, I want to say thank you guys for thinking of me to feature me on this record. A lot of people don't know over here in the States how talented you guys are. And so I just wanted to introduce you to my world, have them get to know you. And so you guys, I'm going to ask you maybe 3 questions or 4 questions, and I'll ask by name. So, Jessie.
Yes.
Do you have a boyfriend?
I do have a boyfriend.
How long have you guys been together?
We've been together for a year and a half now.
And what country are you from? Are you from the UK?
Yes, I'm from the UK. I'm from
Where?
East London.
East London. All right. Now, Jessie, all of the guys that always are around me, they're gonna be thirst buckets. They're gonna ask like, "Yo, is Jessie?" You know what I'm saying? So I just want to make it clear, Jessie, you are not shopping around. You're not looking for nobody. You happy in your relationship?
Around. No, I'm a taken lady.
Oh, she's a taken lady. I love it. All right, I'm gonna move on over to Jade. Jade, how are you, honey?
Hello. I'm fabulous. How are you?
Jade, what did you think when you first heard the verse? Because I am notorious for changing my verse many times, and I didn't tell you guys this. I think I may have changed up that verse about 5 or 6 times before you guys got it. I know they kept on saying, "Oh, we need the verse," and G was stalling, but I never send the verse right away because I change it up a lot. What did you think about it? And you can be honest. Queen Radio listeners, they like honesty. They don't care. We don't get mad. What did you think about the verse when I first sent it?
I'm not gonna lie, we are literally obsessed with it. Like, I think it's because we've literally been desperate to have you on a song for years and years.
I
And when it
can't.
finally came in, we were absolutely buzzing. I love how he's it's kind of melodic, the way you've done the rap. It really matches the song well. We're obsessed, and we're literally so grateful that you've been a part of it, honestly.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for saying that. I think what I want to just say that I thought you guys did such a great job of all having lead vocals on the record. I think it's dope when everybody in the group gets their shine, so that as women we don't feel insecure and offended, and and so is that something that you guys always do? Is that something you guys made it known from the beginning of the group that you wanted to do?
Yeah, I think it's really important to us. I think, as a group from the beginning, we all had the same vision. Nobody's got a bigger ego. Nobody wants to outshine anyone. We're in this together. We're a team.
Got it.
Yeah, I think there needs to be more of that. Yeah.
So Jade, where are you from? What country? Just for the record.
So I'm from Newcastle, which is north of England.
I've performed in.
I've got a weird accent.
Right. I've performed in Newcastle. I always love it there. Okay, now I'm gonna go to Leanne. How are you, Leanne?
Hi, I'm good, thank you.
So, Leanne, can you tell us about your start? Because you guys got kind of discovered on a show, right?
Yeah. So we got formed on a show called The X Factor.
The X Factor.
Yeah, and that was 7 years ago. We've been together for that long.
7 years, and as a female group, that's so good that you guys are still together.
7 years. I'm like, you know what? It's kind of like fate, to be honest. We're so lucky that we all get on so well. We're literally the best of friends.
Wow.
And it is quite rare. It is so rare, but I guess you can't fake it. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're very lucky.
No, you can't fake it. I don't fake orgasms. I never do because I believe. I believe a nigga needs to know if he's whack. All right, so Leanne, what's your sign, Leanne?
I'm a Libra.
I love Libra. So my BFFs, they're more like my sisters. They're twins and they're Libras, and I always say I get along really well, even with Libra men, which is very interesting. Okay, Leanne. So next up is Perry. Perry, where are you from?
I'm from St. Street, Newcastle.
You're from Newcastle as well. Did either of you know each other before you tried out for X Factor?
No, we actually didn't. But
you guys tried out as soloists, right?
yeah, we were just the solo artists, and then we got put together in a group at boot camp, and it was Kelly Rowland and Lisa who put us together.
Are you Kelly Rowland put you guys together?
Yeah.
Oh my God! Shout out to Kelly. She's been on Queen Radio, and I love her to death. She's so freaking dope inside and out. But okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play the song. Oh, Perry, do you have a boyfriend?
I do. He's sat right there, actually.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, tell him I said hello, please. What time is it where you guys are?
It is 11:30.
11:30. I'm gonna say it like that from now. I'm never saying 11:30 for the rest of my fucking life. I'm saying 11:30, 12:30, 2:30. Do you guys know how fucking cute you are? Like, let me tell you, if it was one thing I could change about myself, no kidding, it would be my accent. I wish I could talk like that.
Really?
Yes, I wish I could wake up in the morning and talk like that because I just think it's so sexy. Do you know what I mean? Alright. Now, you guys, listen, I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying my American tour, and I know you guys are very busy. I want everybody to be clear. They are superstars. I want everybody to know they're not new artists. I want everybody to know they, plaqued up and history and all that, okay? However, I'm going on tour in the U.S. in the summertime. And if you guys would ever like to stop by, if you're in America, come by and perform with me, I would love it. I just want to say that. And when I'm in the UK, you guys gotta come out. Y'all gotta fuck with me on one of the shows, okay? Or 2 or 3, okay?
Absolutely. We would love that. Yeah.
Now, I want to just say before they leave, we are like number one. Woman Like Me is now number one in over 20 countries right now in the world. It's the number one song on worldwide iTunes. It's number did you guys expect it to be this litty out the gate?
Yeah, well, I think, we know, like, in the UK we've got a massive fan base, but I'm not going to lie, Nicki, you have definitely played a huge part in getting this song out there, and, we're just so thankful. We can't believe it, we're just blown away.
And I'm excited. No, you guys, when is the video supposed to come out? Friday.
Not yet. We only saw the first of it today.
Okay. Well, we'll leave it at that. The video's gonna be dope, you guys, and all my fans out there, I want you guys to show love to them. They're so sweet and genuine and talented. I want to make sure I say that. Talented, smart women, and shout out to the Mixers, their fan base, and the Barbs, and Nicki Minaj. We see you, we love you, we appreciate you guys for your love and support. So you guys, I'm gonna let you guys go. Thank you for staying up to talk to us. We really appreciate you. We're gonna get into the song right now. In case you didn't hear it, it's called "Woman Like Me." Bye, guys. First thing that be on my mind, where the weed at? Like, I'm not gonna lie, Cali, I used to hear it because I never smoked weed. I literally started smoking weed, 2 years ago. Who got a lighter? And the thing is, I used to hear for years people talking about, like, how much better Cali weed is and shit. And I used to be like, who cares? I used to hate on weed smokers, like, y'all so stupid. And and then once I started smoking, and I realized Cali weed is just a different motherfucking type of movie. Like the indica, the everything. I told one of my friends yesterday, 2 days ago, was trying to play around with my little indica. I was like, alright, take three pulls of that, you're gonna be knocked the. But the one with the wax on it, the indica with the wax on it, that shit is next fucking level. So this is white paper that I'm smoking right now. And a sativa. Ooh, I like the ambiance. You know, once you light up. Okay, so let me, I always forget, what the fuck was I saying? Oh. So, what I want to say to my babies that are listening, I love you so much. And, you guys have been asking me to do the radio show. We were going to do one in London. But I was so tired. We were doing a lot of, fashion shows. Shout out to Karl Lagerfeld. We saw him again. Shout out to Donatella Versace. Big boss move. What do you think about that move? What do you think about that move, Karen?
That's incredible for them. I mean, now, more than anything, I guess they're going to pretty much expand. You know, I think people were kind of confused, like, oh, I'm not going to be wearing Versace anymore because it's part of Michael Kors, but I think they're still going to keep the brands separate. And her partnering now with, like, they did the whole shoe collection with 2 Chainz, and their Chain Reaction shoe is, like, number one for them. Yeah, that's their, like, number one selling product right now. And the fact that it's urban.
Oh, shout out to my boy 2 Chainz. I'm very proud of him.
So that's dope within itself. I think they're just going to continue expanding in that way and just keep it at 2 separate entities.
I mean, obviously, I think when you're young, listen, let me just talk for our culture, right? Like, this is the truth. When you are, for the most part, black and you ain't raised with a lot, you dream of one day when you can buy these designer things. And so I think in a little bit of a selfish, weird way, people were thinking, what? Just as soon as I get money to buy Versace, y'all want to go into because we remember Biggie mentioning Versace. I think a lot of people's first memory of Versace in our culture is Biggie. And so you want to feel like you rocking that, you know what I'm saying, that flash shit, that expensive shit. But it's interesting how our psyches work, that if something is a little cheaper or more for the masses, we no longer think it's fly. But I realize the flyest people wear what the fuck they want and make it fly. So,
but what's crazy is Versace is available in, like, Ross in certain places. Most people don't know that. They have it there. It's just you don't think of it like you do Michael Kors.
Right.
But Versace is making, like, that effort to go back to what you said about being, like, you think of Biggie Smalls and stuff like that. Because once, you know, certain people started mentioning them in songs and things like that, you can see now she's super, like, I'm embracing the culture, hip-hop culture, and a lot of brands don't do that.
So when I was in Milan, we ate dinner in Gianni Versace's home, like in his home. They have not sold his property. We ate dinner there, and I will just like to say that Donatella, there was one big ass table with nothing but pastries and cakes and shit, and they put that shit right by my table, and I was low-key so mad, because I'm like, yo, who did this shit? Because I don't need to be eating no more motherfucking pastries. Shout out to me, I have been losing some weight. I don't know if you guys have been able to tell. This food was good, I have to say. Shout out to Donatella, because the food actually was good, and, you know, I was worried, because the hotel food, but, you know, so yeah. But it's amazing that I was a little kid hearing rappers talk about Versace, and then God bless the dead, and then seeing them cover his horrific death, and then to be sitting in his home eating food and taking pictures, and, you know, and I went to the show, and the brand to me has not, they just haven't missed a beat, I don't think. I mean, they should have still fly, still rock Versace right now to the second, like, yo, you know? I always say, and I said this earlier even to my glam, I ask myself all the time, you wake up to a big house and cars and jewelry and money and everything you ever prayed for and asked for, right? And do you expect it to come with no negativity? Do you expect it to come with all praises and everybody kissing your ass and sucking your dick, you know? I can't, there's no way in the world I could expect to be in this position this long and for to not become a target one day. I was a target when I first started. People didn't think I would get this far. 4 albums in, And if you can tell me a female rapper who fourth album in is still breaking records with their fourth album, I'll make you a brownie. Like, tell me one. You know what I mean? And that's why I was happy when I was on my way over here, I heard Booth playing Still I Rise, which is a song I wrote sitting in front of my mother's house in Queens. And I remember like it was fucking yesterday, okay? I would sit in my car and write for hours and hours because when I would go in my house, they would, you know, we're West Indian, so everything they say is loud. Like it's a regular conversation, it's just screaming for no reason. And so that would be the only place that I could have peace. And I remember listening to T.I.'s version of that, and I remember getting a beat CD and playing beat CDs in my BMW. And I said, oh my God, I love this beat, kept on playing it, and it was just making me feel emotional. I wanted to write about everything I'd been hearing about myself up until that point. Up until that point, people were saying a lot of things, and I fought through it, and I'm a fighter. And first of all, I'm a child of God, and people don't realize that. They don't realize how spiritual I am. So a lot of these things that people think that I'm fussing about, I swear, most of these things I'll be laughing about. Like, if you ask anybody around me, when they've ever hit me and heard me crying or mad about something, like, have you, Booth, I mean, I speak to y'all nonstop, G and G. Can you think about anything that's come out in the media about me in, like, let's say the last 2 years that I ever hit y'all crying and fussing about?
Nah, not that I know of, no.
Not like, I mean, G, what you be thinking? Like, do you come up a little bit closer?
I feel like we laugh more.
we like everything. Like, do you ever see me have the reaction that people on the internet think I'm having, G?
Opposite.
It'd be the opposite. It really be, so I want to say that I know that question comes from a place of love because my fans always say, like when I go on Twitter, they say, well, how are you doing, Nicki? How are you doing? And I say, I am 4 albums in. Negotiating humongous deals, not just for music, but for everything under the sun, including that little clip of a documentary that I put out. Now has a bidding war. So I want to let y'all know that the queen is good. My goal now, I think, is to make sure y'all are good. Is to make sure that you guys get strength from everything that y'all see me go through, and I go through it. The key word is through it, because that means you getting through it. That means you coming out the other end. You never see me stop and sit there and be like, oh man, what was me? Fuck my life. Never. Never. And that's why, and shout out to my fans, you know, the other day, one of my fans was talking to me about feeling suicidal, and it touched me so much because I realized I can get up and complain about stuff, but people in this world are really going through real fucking shit. So I'm not gonna sit up here and complain. I can't. You wanna talk about me, talk about me. So I got a radio show. But please know, all these niggas in here could tell you they never heard me call them crying like, yo. Now, in the beginning of my career, I did. In the beginning, the very beginning, I'm talking about even like before my first album came out. That's why I was scared to even put out my first album, because I thought nobody was gonna buy it. It's still the #1 debut from a female rapper in what, 10, 15, 20 years, you know? So it just goes to show you that I'm in a great place, and I think, I don't know, I see artists that are so talented and they can't even get talked about on a blog unless they die or something like that, right? And then here it is, I am getting talked about every day, 5 times a day. I could change my motherfucking toenail polish and get talked about, child. It's like, what the fuck color that bitch wearing on her toes today? Bitch, you ain't got no right toes for that motherfucking shit. Like, it's... So, at a certain point, you can't really think I'm sitting here caring about this shit. I mean, you guys, come on. Come on. This is entertainment. I've said that before. I love my fucking job.
Alright, now, girl, we in October, so when are you dropping this freestyle? Where's that?
First of all, I ain't never said nothing about no freestyle. I'll say that the freestyle is written, it's recorded, it's done. and I don't feel compelled to put the freestyler at this moment. Whenever I feel like it's ready for this. Whenever I feel it's time, it's time. But I will say that I'm more into the reception of the Queen album. I must say it's been such a great reception to that album, and I think that's why my spirits have been really great, because I spent so much hard work and time on it. And so I didn't think it made sense to really put out a freestyle right now while Queen Radio just came out. I'm sorry, the Queen album just came out. So we gonna take some time and, be anxious for nothing. The Bible says that for a reason. Be anxious for nothing.
Okay, so we gonna wait on that shot. Might come this year, might come next year.
You know what?
Now, okay, so I'm just trying to get into your head with this one, because we all want to know, out of all the songs and features you've ever done, which one is your favorite song or verse?
Well, I will say, shout out to Booth, because he tends to bring up things that I haven't heard in a long time and that my fans really react to, and it's why they started fucking with me. And so I go back, I listen to these things sometimes, only when Booth plays it, because I don't go back and listen to my old music. Very rarely I do. But like, he played Still I Rise today, and it made me a little bit emotional coming in hearing it, because in that song I say, nothing I do ever is good enough for the music biz. And can I just tell you a secret? I've never said this to anybody in my life. I swear to God, the day that I wrote that lyric, just because I'm such a spiritual person and I believe in, like, the day I wrote that line, I didn't want to say that, because I was like, well, if you write this, then that means that's what's going to carry you throughout your career. And sure enough, it has. So that's why there's so much power. There's power of life and death in your tongue, pause. Because I shouldn't have said that, maybe, but I put that out in the air. That's why you got to be so careful with what you speak on your life.
That's true.
You got to be careful with that.
Yep.
But so we played Still I Rise today. I said, wow, I can't believe that I love that I've always been into my craft. I love that I've always been a writer and a rapper's rapper. I love that I've always cared about lyricism. I love that I've always cared about getting better. I love that I've always cared, no matter how hard I get, until this day I get paid to be on records. No matter how much I get paid, I will still write that bitch over 15, 20 motherfucking times until I feel like I've given that artist the best of me. I'm never gonna fucking change. Ever. It's very few artists that right now, that 4 albums into their career, G. Nelson, get paid to feature on music.
Yeah.
No, who else? I mean, I'm just saying, like, it's a few of us. And so when you really get to understand, you'll see why the Queen is always in a great mood.
You don't understand. Greatest rapper alive. That's all I gotta say.
We've cut his mic several times, and
Somebody's cut my mic.
today we just took his whole mic.
Nobody's cut my mic.
But let me tell you. But go ahead, Kyle.
All right, this is the last question, and then I'm gonna let you go until next time.
Oh.
Yeah. So, once you said your biggest fear was not having a family of your own, is that still your biggest fear? If not, what is?
I would say that, yeah. I would say that still. But because I've always prophesied everything that ever happens in my life, I know that I am gonna have a family. Every decision that I made not to have a family before, I stand by. None of